Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is almost guaranteed to be getting a Game of the Year nomination at this point. It is the highest rated game on Metacritic as well as OpenCritic for 2025, taking a very, very difficult position to overtake from other games this year. Whenever you're in the low 90s, it's going to make it a bit of a challenge. I wanted to give you guys my first impressions of the game. I played it yesterday, and I had a hard time pulling myself away from this game. So in case you missed it, though, up until this point, I had been saying for a pretty long time that this game was likely going to get Game of the Year nominations. To me, it had all the hallmarks of a very, very strong and good game that the gaming press would love, that the gaming world would love. Now, I am on record as being somebody who does not enjoy turn-based games, and I continue to say that this might be the game that gets me to finally roll credits on a turn-based game. And after just a couple of hours with it yesterday, I really do think it's won me over in so many different categories and in so many different ways. I even had people this morning telling me in a members-only segment called Morning Coffee that they had never really been big fans of turn-based either, and they threw in on this, and they're loving it. And especially, listen, if you've got Game Pass, that's the perfect way to try out something like this if you feel like it's not really your cup of tea. And I want to go through all the different pros and cons. There are some things I think they could work on and fix and polish, but by and large, they're very minor gripes. If you're watching this later or watching this right now, you can consume my content now, the live content, both on Twitch and YouTube. So head over to Twitch and look for Reforge Gaming TV, or if you're on YouTube, it's just Reforge Gaming. And we still do uploads on YouTube. Thank you for everybody who's been supporting those efforts as well. And we're trying something a little bit new with a live stream, going back to like single topic and giving you some of my thoughts. So consider hitting like and subscribe, especially if you're in the live audience right now. Smash like. And if you want to support directly, Twitch has subs and YouTube has memberships. And on Twitch, you'll never see an ad if you're a sub. And on YouTube, you get into extra content when you pick Member Plus. All right, so let me give you the pros. Let's just start with the graphics. Graphically, this game is just very, very impressive for such a small team. It does genuinely, I think, look like a AAA quality game. At $50 with over 30 hours of playtime, if you just sort of straight line the game, just an immense amount of value and very, very much showing that you don't need some big AAA company and some bloated budget to make a very good looking game. So graphically, I think this game is impressive, from, you know, the cutscenes to the gameplay to the combat. Now, there are some things about the cutscenes I'll speak to that Digital Foundry spoke to. I think those things could be fixed, but I just can't believe this was made by a small team. It's kind of mystifying. The second thing that I think really deserves some praise is the soundtrack. It really does bring the entire thing together. There is a piece of that that'll be in the negatives I'll talk about in a moment. But again, it's an easy thing to fix. But the soundtrack is spectacular. I could see this landing in the soundtrack category at the Game Awards. And another category with respect to sound that you're going to see at the Game Awards, this thing's going to clean house, is the voice acting. You've got Charlie Cox, who you may know as Daredevil. You have Ben Starr, who you may know as Clive, and a whole host of others. Jessica English, or maybe it's Jennifer English. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I forgot that one. I should have wrote that in my script. You've got Andy Serkis, and I think that level of work and care that they put in to the game, it really comes through in all of the scenes that you're playing. Like, you feel like you're almost not watching a movie in a bad way. And everybody thinks that, you know, Gustav looks like Robert Pattinson. If you actually look up pictures of Charlie Cox with long hair, it looks like Charlie Cox. It's just that we're used to seeing him as Daredevil, and his eyes are always covered. So, you know, stop saying it's Robert Pattinson. It's Charlie Cox, okay? So yeah, the voice acting, I think, is absolutely stellar and delivers, I think, just such a unique story, which is the next thing I want to talk about. The story is incredibly creative. It's gripping. It's unique. There's a lot of mystique, macabre, but also very beautiful nature to it. You know, dealing with grief, dealing with death, dealing with something that is dark that you want to fight against. I do think it's one of the more creative stories that I've had the pleasure as a gamer of experiencing. So that is an element I think that is helping me get into it, is like I think the characters are very well done. They're gripping. I'm kind of in their corner. I'm kind of cheering for them. And within that, then that's all sort of the window dressing, right? That's your soundtrack, your graphics, your voice acting, you know, and then now we're getting into the story. Those are all things that can be really, really nice, but what about the game, right? Well, the systems within the game, I think, are very self-explanatory. It can be, at times, a little redundant, like figuring out, you know, the Pictos and I forget the name of the other one, the Luminas. That can be a little odd and confusing, but I think the more you play, the more it just starts to make sense. Like as you level and you're unlocking things and you're having things to complement your build, those things I think are very easy to understand. I didn't at any time feel confused. The environments that you're in, I think, are just accented so well by having like different vibes, feels, almost like biomes. And then again, this is where the graphics are going to come into play here, and the art direction is just incredibly strong for this game. I see this game landing in so many categories at the Game Awards. So those are all of the things I think that really accents the game and makes you want to be in the world. But the big question, the thing that I think a lot of people were curious about, is the combat. And for me, that was going to be make or break, because when I first saw the combat debuted in a trailer a long time ago, I said, I think I might actually enjoy that. It's far more moment to moment, far more involved, an active parry and block system anytime the enemy is attacking really, I think, brings it into what I think will be an influential status. Now, you're going to probably list games and you're going to say, oh, there's other games that have done this type of thing. There are other games that have added this type of, you know, elements to the game, you know, before, like this sort of like active thing. And that may be true, but this game, I think, is going to have a heavy influence on the turn-based category. I think you're going to see other games, you know, in 3 or 4 years, 5 years show up with very, very similar situations. I was so used to turn-based as an idea that, like, I kind of went to sleep at one point, and then I started getting hit, and I was like, oh, that's right, I'm allowed to parry these, I'm allowed to block these. The parrying is so incredibly satisfying. This is where sound design and art design and graphics all kind of come together to deliver a wonderful package, so that you really do feel like those parries are just, I mean, you are slamming these enemies back. It feels very, very good and very, very much skill-based. I've always said my issue with turn-based is it sort of feels like a flowchart. You just sort of apply the formula, like you know what abilities to use and what things to do, right? And you just kind of like watch your people do it. And I get why people like that, but that's one of the reasons I never really did. And this feels far more skill expression, where I turned an entire fight around by landing 2 good parries, and then I was able to focus on the big guy by himself because I got rid of the 2 smaller guys. So that, I think, brings me in a more participatory way into the fight instead of it being and feeling so passive. So all of those things are high marks. It's hard to take points away for really anything in this game, but there are a couple of things, and the good news is I think these are things that could be very easily fixed. Number one, the lip syncing. To have such a heavy focus on so much voice talent in your game, and then to have the lip sync not look that great, I'm assuming a way to keep the budget down, they probably leveraged automated systems for the facial animations and the talking. I don't think they mocapped, right? I don't think they had like Charlie Cox come in and mocap all of these scenes. He may have just been in a booth, and then they used automated systems to make the lips move in accordance to what he said. It is a little off-putting. That could be an extensive fix, actually. That is the one thing that we may never see or not addressed in quick succession, okay? Another thing with respect to audio that I found to be a little strange, again, given how much emphasis and focus they put on the voice acting and the story, is that the audio mix is arguably terrible. Like, you can't hear them because the music is so loud. I dropped the music volume down to like 70% and it was much better. Again, I'm surprised that one slipped through the cracks. It's a small studio. I can be very forgiving of that. Just go change it in your settings. Easy fix. John Linneman from Digital Foundry also pointed out that some of the cutscenes, there's just an insane amount of compression going on. So not really sure if that's just inexperience or was there a mistake made. Like the format of the videos was something he was kind of highlighting as the problem. So Again, I think these are pretty minor overall. The game is delivering excellence. My conclusion is very simple. It was really tough for me to go back to AC Shadows. I'm like 26 hours, 27 hours in AC Shadows. I want to finish that game. I'm loving it. This is the problem I knew we were going to have this year. Too many games, really difficult to roll credits on them. As a busy dad, as like my primary offering as a streamer has never been gameplay. Maybe in the future Twitch will help us with that, right? Twitch is a little bit more receptive to gameplay than YouTube has been as we built our audience around a talk show. But this game is 100% next on the list for me. I think based on my experience, 3 hours in, this could easily land in my top 3 games this year, maybe top 5. I mean, it's going to be fighting for a top spot, with GOTY and with Death Stranding too. I mean, they're just so much to like about it. Now there are people that are like, oh, I don't think you're going to roll credits, you're going to tap out. This game would have to dramatically change in order for that to happen. I don't see this game suddenly sharp turning on me. I've had people coming in and they're like, keep going, it just gets better, the parry gets better. So if you're watching this later, I typically do like a talk show. It's very interactive, so make sure you hit subscribe and the bell button, and make sure you hit the like button, especially right now if you're in the live audience. We're doing a bit of an experiment. We usually do a variety gaming talk show. I wanted to go single topic just to see what the reception would be from the audience. If the reception isn't strong, no worries. I don't take that personal. We'll just switch gears and we'll go play some Days Gone Remastered. But we're just going to kind of see how this goes. We're 11 minutes in, so try to get us 100 likes over there on YouTube. And those of you that are watching on Twitch, thank you so much. We are having that little contest again. And we do have... What in the world? It's saying I can't turn the goal on? That was weird. Oh, it thought the goal was on. That was weird. My Stream Deck was being very, very weird. Yeah. Oh, Q&A is acting weird too. Anyways, we have a little throwdown here. Mike on the mic said that if you guys go crazy and get to 700 members on the week, he will drop a 50 bomb, and I said I would match it. So if we have a crazy day over here on YouTube, we will do that. It might be tough to have a crazy day because we might get a little bit of a lighter turnout with this format. We will see. We're kind of experimenting now that we have 2 platforms. So I'm off to play Expedition 33. Enjoy it. I did see people saying the game needs a mini-map. I didn't want to provide that feedback in my first impressions because I have yet to experience the need for that, so that wouldn't have been like a genuine piece of feedback from me. I'm assuming I'll probably feel that later, maybe when some of the areas get a little bit more windy and convoluted. Maybe it can be a little off-putting to not just have a mini-map to kind of find your way. I'm someone who does not play turn-based games. I skip Persona 5 and Baldur's Gate 3. I'm loving this game, says Ultima Omnislash. Yeah, you can get your AP by hitting marked targets, hitting people with a basic attack. And here we go. YouTube's going to answer the call. I've got a couple people to thank. Han shot first, and so did you, Sneaky Wolf, with the first 5 bomb of the day. What's going on? Why is my stuff not working? I don't understand. What is going on with my... Like, none of my stuff's working in OBS. Alert images. I'm just going to go to a black scene real quickly here. Huh. I'm not quite sure what the deal is. Let me open up the Steam Deck software and see if that fixes it. Yeah, I can't get the things to pop out. That is super bizarre. Yeah, I can do it manually, but it's not doing it. Probably a Steam Deck update. I don't know. I've never had this issue before. We've been doing this. No, I have the latest version. I don't know. It was acting weird with the goal too. Like it didn't want to bring the goal up. It thinks Q&A is up. That could be breaking it. There we go. Okay, I think it was Q&A. I think Q&A was breaking it. Okay, now we can get it to work again, I believe. Okay, let's try this again. No, let me go. Hang on. I bet you I'm going to have to go here and manually do every single one to, like, jar its memory. I don't know exactly why the Q&A got glitched. It was basically acting like Q&A was on permanently. All right. So let's try this one more time. There we go. And a 5-bomb from Sneaky Wolf. I don't know. Been watching on YouTube since Halo Infinite. I'm so happy you got your channel back. Your journey's inspiring. Hasim, thank you so much for using your Prime sub over there on Twitch. Now, I got to add up all the YouTube boys. The YouTube boys just threw down the gauntlet. So, a single came in from Dylan, and a single came in from DK Bager. That's 7, but I got renewals to thank as well. So, let me add the 7 here and take us to 441. And then YouTube takes the lead over Twitch with 7. We might start doing something where we were thinking like once a month, whoever does the most gets the IRL stream, like whichever platform does the most. And then we were also thinking about like every week, like if you guys hit the goal first or something, I'll go live on your platform first for Friday Night with Madam. Like you guys will get to hang out with us first. And then 1030 Media Group with 30 months and a member plus says, what's up, Lono in chat? Expedition 33, woo, what a treat. Grabbed it on Steam. Had to show support for this gem. And then Grady with 26 months and a member plus says, monthly check-in. Keep up the great work, brother. Expedition 33 kind of has Eliza P. art style and turn-based combat's very unique. I love it. And then Zubair with a VIP renewal, 50 months. And he says, count D's nuts. All right, well, I will. And then that takes us to 444. There you go. Nice strong start over here on YouTube. He does not look like Charlie Cox. I think he does. I think we're not used to seeing Charlie Cox's face. Let me just show you. Like, this is Charlie Cox with long hair. I think he doesn't look like 1-to-1 like this, but I think he looks. I think Gustav looks close enough to that personally. You know what I mean? He looks more like Pattinson. I don't think Pattinson's eyes look like that. My wife is a huge Robert Pattinson fan. I showed her a picture of Gustav. I'm like, who does that look like? She's like, I don't know. I was like, it doesn't look like anybody to you. She's like, no. I was like, people are saying it looks like Robert Pattinson. And she's like, no, it doesn't. Legend status with 35 months in a VIP. Haseo with 41 months in a member plus. Hope we see more games like Expedition 33. Thank you guys for renewing. And that gets us to 446. Guys, again, YouTube, Mike on the mic threw the gauntlet down. He threw the gauntlet down and said if we get to 700 members on the week, he's dropping a 50 bomb. I will match. I completely forgot. He looks that way. Robert Pattinson for sure. I'm not saying he doesn't look like him at all, but I think he also looks like Charlie Cox. If you take the beard away, like Robert Pattinson's eyes don't look like that. They're more like thin, like more squinty. Like, it certainly looks like him. It certainly looks like him, but it also looks like Charlie Cox, I think. Yo, thank you so much for jumping back in as a member. Let's see, we got Melrose Mike, 51 months in a VIP, 37 months from Loch Ness in a VIP. Looking forward to more great content. And then Guided by Faith, is that an upgrade or just a renewal? I'm just going to count it as 3, and that gets us to 449. If it's an upgrade, it counts as 2, so just let me know. Who made the member challenge? Mike on the mic made the member challenge. He said that if we get to 700 on YouTube, he's dropping a 50 bomb. He did that yesterday to celebrate his birthday. There's also Andy Serkis. Yeah, is it Jennifer English or Jessica English? I think it's Jennifer, isn't it? I messed that up during the show open. Robert Pattinson is the worst vampire. It took him years to turn into a bat. Is that your joke? Or did you steal that? It's Jennifer. Okay. Well, I love Madam, but she doesn't think he looks like Rob because she loves Rob. I did not feed her any information. I just asked her. I said, who does this look like? And she said, nobody. I stole nothing? All right. That's an original to Hilly then. Pretty good joke. Lune is such a babe. I mean, I put her on the thumbnail on YouTube. I like her a lot. She's cool, man. She's got like a whole vibe going on. You know what I'm saying? If you guys are watching on YouTube, man, smash the like button. We are trying a bit of an experiment today. A little bit of a shorter, topic, not a bunch of variety topics, just one central topic. We used to do this all the time. White dudes with beards all look the same. This isn't saying much. Iron Man and Scarlet Witch for me. Iron Man and Scarlet Witch? What? Lune looks like a girl I dated college in my early 20s. Literally every character is hot. Well, I think that's supposed to be like an artistic theme when you're playing games like this, where like everybody's beautiful and yet they're surrounded by tragedy and darkness. Like, I think it's meant to create this juxtaposition of they're in this very awful sort of in almost like macabre-like situation. And a single comes in from DK Bager, and he gets us to 550. There it is. Mike on the mic threw down a pretty big gauntlet for YouTube. We'll see if they can answer the call. Whoever said that made a good point. Instead of glasses, Superman should just grow a beard, and we couldn't tell him apart from any other white dude. I mean, he could just wear a fake one, you know? Clair Obscur is an actual art style. Oh, really? That term is an art style? I didn't know that. It was like, because they say it in the song. Clair Obscur meaning. It refers to the artistic technique of using contrasting light and shadow, also known as chiaroscuro, to create a sense of depth and form in the painting. It's derived from the French words clair, which is light, and obscure, dark. So it's quite literally called Light Dark Expedition 33. The technique is often used to highlight specific areas to draw the user's attention. So, like, this would be an example of the use of Clair Obscur. So, like, they're using the light and the dark to create a sense of, like, depth and to create a sense of, you know, setting and tone. I did not know that. I had no idea that Clair Obscur was an art style. I mean, that's essentially what's going on in the game. In the game, that's what you're doing, right? I mean, you're very much dealing with the light and the dark of the people are trying to fight back, you know, against the dark. That's kind of cool that they use it. Now I understand the name even more. Like, I always kind of thought the name was kind of weird. Dune is out today. I thought they delayed. Didn't they delay Dune Awakening? I feel like they delayed Dune Awakening. You'll notice that a lot of the themes in the game are based on art. That's pretty cool. I mean, I won't necessarily know what all of it is, but I'm definitely enjoying it. I'm definitely enjoying the art direction. It's delayed. They did. Yeah, I was gonna say. I thought I saw that headline. Expedition 33 is going to end up on a lot of Game of the Year lists. Yeah, I mean, since the first trailer, I have felt this was going to end up on the Game of the Year podium. You know? I wish we would have made a video with, like, that as the title and thumb. But, like, we really struggle with some topics and some titles in some games because, like, they just don't quite have the relevancy for us to, like, justify making the video. You have to be kind of tactical when you're smaller, like, as a content creator. Like, you can't just be like, oh, I really want to make a video about this, like, this lesser known title. You know, obviously now it's picking up steam and more people are talking about it, which is why I wanted to do this stream. I wanted to see, like, well, maybe we can kind of catch the attention of people, and maybe we can sort of land land in a funnel of people that wanna talk about it. I actually probably should have changed directories over here on YouTube since we are talking about it. They won't win, but this is going to end up being on a lot of best of lists. I don't necessarily think they can win Game of the Year. I think that'll be really tough because you are going to have titles like Death Stranding 2 and GTA 6. Like, you're going to have some absolute heavy hitters that will be difficult to beat. But I do think, hang on, I want to put something here in the chat. Does it come over to you guys? It does. Okay. I'm just giving myself a marker on the fan funding so that I know if it moves. I don't know if they can win, but I think they could definitely win for like indie title, breakout indie title, original score, art direction, voice acting. You know what I mean? Guys think Lone Lux 50? Hang on. We need how do I what should I put down here? Right? We need a 50 bomb or 50 members. We need the word members or something down there so that people know what we're doing. Here, we'll do text, right? 50 hang on. Member bomb, we'll title this, and we'll do 50 members, and we'll make it bold like that. There we go. Maybe we'll try to make this a little bit more clear. This is something that there. This is something that Mike on the mic threw down yesterday. You can't really read that. We're gonna need like a cup. Maybe make it like. There we go. That'll be the best we can do. And a 50 bomb from MASH. Speaking of 50 bombs, he says, "Is this what you're talking about?" Frickin' MASH. He's like, "Oh, are you talking about 50 bombs? Are you talking about 50 bombs?" I hope we get DLC for 33 in the future. Music gives me Liza P vibes. I'm confused on what makes you even think that. Cozy, what do you mean? Confused by what, who thinks what? Toxic generosity is a real problem. And Raphael is going to be an agent of chaos and bumps a line to 501. Thank you so much for doing that. That'll be insane for 5 minutes. What's really cool in my chat, I don't see it in my combined chat, so I can just keep reading what you guys are saying. Oh, you're talking to somebody in the chat? Why wouldn't it, Dave? Oh, what did Dave say? Oh, he said GTA won't win. Now, this is relevant to the discussion, so we can have this topic. Like, I'm thinking that Clair Obscur obviously gets a Game of the Year nomination. A lot of people have been, they think GTA 6 is a guaranteed win. I don't think so. If there's one thing that I know about Game of the Year competitions, this is quite literally the best lineup that you could put against GTA 6. There were other years where GTA 6 would have won handedly. It had won handedly. But this year, the competition is thick. I mean, like, thick, bro. This is a tough year. I mean, just look at Expedition 33's score, and then look at like all of the stuff Kojima's shown for Death Stranding 2, and then you got to look at Mafia: The Old Country, and then you got to look at even games that have done well right now, like Split Fiction, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Monster Hunter Wilds, like double C thick, tough year, real tough year. Like, GTA can't just, like, walk up on the podium and be like, haha, it's all us, man. Yeah, Doom the Dark Ages. That category is going to be a challenge. Blueprints could sneak up there because of its number of reviews has gone up. My biggest concern was early on it only had, like, 30 reviews. And I'm like, it's not going to get enough votes. But now it's got, like, 60-something reviews. So, yeah, Blueprints could get up there as well. The year is stupid stacked. It is. It really is. They just posted that Expedition 33 sold 500,000. I think they'll have an inverse sales curve because of word of mouth. Usually you've got sales that'll be like, it'll go up and then down. I think they'll get an inverse curve like Helldivers did. They're not going to hit the peaks of Helldivers, but like inverse sales curves are rare, and Helldivers had one to where it pulled up after. I think Expedition 33 will have that experience. The more that word of mouth spreads, the more those reviews hit. You think Oblivion could get a nod? I don't want it to. Like, The Last of Us Part 1 remake and Part 2 remastered, and then the Demon Souls remake were all really, really well done. I wouldn't want any of those to ever be in contention for anything. I don't think that's what those categories are for. I know there was a remake, there was a Resident Evil up there one year. I don't know. Oblivion is amazing as a remaster. Oblivion's amazing as a remaster, but like I don't want things like that in the category. The category should be for new games. We don't want remasters, remakes, or DLC in the Game of the Year category. We don't. Now, you want to throw Oblivion in the RPG category? I mean, I guess you could do that, but again, it's a great RPG, and it's been out for a really long time. Why are we nominating it for RPG? Because it came out again? You know what I mean? Could we do that for Skyrim every time it came out again? Disagree on remakes? I think remakes like the Resident Evil remake that were so transformative, I understand making exceptions, because I do think the Resident Evil remake was significant. Oh yeah, Ghost of Yotei is another game that could get nominated for Game of the Year for sure. Because Tsushima did. Tsushima got nominated. Good morning, Master. How are you? Guys, go through that ritual on YouTube. We're trying a little bit of a different format of a single topic. I wanted to get my first impressions out there of Expedition 33. We're now kind of discussing the Game of the Year category, which is relevant because I do think Expedition 33 gets a nomination. It could steal it. Yeah, like FF7 Rebirth. If you're gonna put something in that category, I think it has to be a significantly transformative remake. And given that they're calling Oblivion a remaster, and they didn't rebuild those systems and things like that, and that's fine. I'm not faulting them and saying that they should have done that. I praised that remaster. I've got a video on the channel right now saying that it is more than a remaster. I gave that game I gave that remaster its due flowers. But I don't think it should be. My personal view is that they shouldn't be in the category. I think the category should stay pretty pure. And if you're going to put a remake in there, man, it really needs to have a wow factor of transformation. And you could argue that Oblivion has that, but I don't know. It's tough. Oblivion Remaster did so little with the game outside of the graphics overhaul. It definitely shouldn't be in the Game of the Year nominations again. Unfortunately, it is eligible, says Lone Wolf. Well, I'm here to tell you, it won't get it. It won't. It won't get a Game of the Year nomination. I think there's too many games coming out. I mean, just this list alone, I think it would make it impossible for Oblivion to get in there. Expedition 33, GTA 6, Death Stranding 2, Yotei, Doom, Mafia the Old Country, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Monster Hunter Wilds, Split Fiction, Blueprints. Come on, man. That's 10 games right there that are either out and have already proven their mettle or are coming out and likely will. That's an awful lot of dadgum games to be like, well, let's put Oblivion up there. Like, everybody needs to slow down, you know? I think Oblivion shouldn't be nominated for anything. I assume they're okay with that. It would be weird to nominate it for, like, RPG, because it's been a great RPG all this time. They didn't suddenly make a new great RPG. It's always been a great RPG. Oblivion Remaster can stay in its frickin' lane and stay away from trying for Game of the Year. Well, it's not a matter of them trying. It's a matter of what the jury process votes for. Don't forget about Marathon. Oh, yeah, don't forget about Marathon. It'll be up there. Horizon Zero Dawn remastered. Days Gone remastered. Yeah. What if COD on the Switch 2? Which studio is handling COD this year? No idea. Would you say Borderlands 4 has a shot? No. No. I don't think Borderlands 4 has a shot in almost any category. I don't know if you could give it art direction. It looks good, but I don't know if you could give it art direction. There's going to be too many games that are going to crush art direction. Expedition 33 has a guaranteed spot in art direction. Death Stranding 2 will take a guaranteed spot in art direction. You might see games like Blueprints in art direction, maybe. Mafia the Old Country will be in art direction. GOTY will probably be in art direction. I can't see. I really can't see it. That's not including anything Nintendo rolls out, says Nova. Yeah, we're forgetting Nintendo. Thank you, Nova. I don't think Borderlands 4 gets into any of the categories. Yeah, Kazan could be in there for art direction. Borderlands is going to struggle because it's more Borderlands, which I'm excited to play, but I think Borderlands is going to struggle to make a splash in the other categories because I'm telling you, this is going to be one of the most insane years in gaming. I think Expedition 33 will be in the most categories, if you want my honest opinion. I think it'll be in the most categories. I think it'll be in soundtrack, it'll be in indie, it'll be in breakout indie, it'll be in art direction, it'll have voice acting nominations, it'll be in game of the year, it might get direction. I think Expedition 33 could easily land in 6 or 7 categories. And it's a little unfair because obviously it can land in categories that other games cannot land in because it's an indie. Being an indie, it automatically is going to get to 2 categories guaranteed. Breakout indie and indie. Just wondering, I don't let people like you hang out here, man. I don't know. You've only ever said 3 things and you're just trying to be weird. Borderlands 4 will be better than Mafia the Old Country. Book it. Huh? No Mafia game was truly great. 3 was better. Have you seen the trailer? I don't know why you're comparing them, by the way. Those are kind of weird games to compare. The trailers for Mafia the Old Country look very promising. Corey says, Lono, don't forget, there are a lot of not as noticeable categories for TGA. Best ongoing, best game for impact, and the like. Yeah, but what game is going to check all those categories, Corey? I think Expedition 33 ends up in the most categories. I think it'll be in 6 or 7 categories. I do not think there's another game I can think of that will land in as many categories as Expedition 33. I don't think so. About Lost Soul aside, no, I don't think it'll get any noms. It looks good, but I don't think it'll get any noms. It could land in the indie category for sure, because I think it's a smaller studio, isn't it? A smaller studio, so it could land in the indie category. Outside of that, I don't think so. Yeah. GTA 5 won the Spike TV Game Awards in 2013. That's the award show that eventually turned into the Game Awards. We know today. Hell Is Us could get a couple of categories. I thought Hell Is Us could be a Game of the Year sleeper. It's going to be hard for it to get into that category now. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 can't land in the indie categories. It can't. So, again, Expedition 33 has a distinct advantage. It can land in 2 categories that a lot of the heavy hitters cannot land in. A lot of the heavy hitters can't land in the 2 indie categories. Expedition 33 has the chance to do what Disco Elysium did years ago and win the most awards. I agree with that, Kirk. I do. I think it could win the most awards and just not take home the Game of the Year crown, and that ends up going to, I think your front runners for Game of the Year are Death Stranding 2 and GTA 6. And I think Expedition 33 just took position number 3. I think it's in 3rd. Those 2 games are going to be really tough to beat. I think Expedition 33 is in the top 3 already. Just boom. Just its score alone. Its score alone puts it up there. I do think I'm going to roll credits on it, Ultima. I do. GTA 6 is going to be delayed. No, I don't think so. I actually think we've got early inclinations now and indications that GTA 6 is on time. GOTY being announced for October the 2nd. to me indicates that PlayStation knows the release date is mid-November. I think the release date is 11/11/2025 for GTA 6. They just announced that Mafia: The Old Country is going to have a gameplay reveal on May the 8th. Perfect timing for the late May marketing push to spin up for GTA 6, which is what we've been saying. We've been saying, based on all that we've heard from Detective Seeds and Middle Aged Gamer Guy, that GTA 6 marketing will begin in May. PlayStation will be involved. PlayStation's leaning towards doing a showcase. PlayStation likes doing their stuff late May. I think they're getting Yote out, boom. Mafia Old Country stuff out, boom. And then GTA stuff kicks up mid to late May. That's what I think. 11/11 this year lands on a Tuesday. I think that's your GTA launch date. Yeah, Sandfall has tweeted that Expedition 33 has sold 500,000 copies already in one day. That is a triumph for them. That's huge for them. Yeah, congrats to the team. They crushed it. They deserve every red cent they earn. I mean, they absolutely crushed it. It's excellence in game design and creativity. It really is. It's so well done. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, try to get us to 200 likes. This is actually not terrible. We don't really do single topic live shows anymore because it's sort of counterproductive, but we did think this could be beneficial. If we could get 200 likes on the vid, that would be significantly helpful. Feels bad so many of those copies are like $35 PC copies. Yeah, but how big's the studio, Eugene? I mean, that's an incredible triumph for them. I actually think they're going to have an inverse sales curve. I think their sales will go up over time, over the next 2 weeks, and not down. I think they're about to hit the weekend, and word of mouth is going to cause it to go like that. Because if the Final Fantasy boys get a hold of this and start to spread the word, it'll do very well. It'll do very, very well. Did you play it offline? No, I didn't touch it anymore, Dave. Yeah, I didn't touch it anymore. Yeah, I was playing AC Shadows last night. Probably would have sold more if it wasn't on Game Pass. I don't think so. I don't think the Xbox community would have rallied behind a game like this. Yeah, this style, this more... It's not a JRPG, but it feels very JRPG adjacent. I don't think it would have done that great in the Xbox ecosystem as a game to buy. I think Game Pass was good for them because they probably got a nice fat check from Microsoft, and that goes nicely with 500,000 sales day one. So, getting a Lono recommendation on the Twitch homepage. Well, if you guys are watching on Twitch, thanks for watching. Make sure and click that follow button on Twitch. We have a friendly competition between the platforms, and I forgot to update it. Hang on. YouTube took a huge lead with Mash's 50 bomb, and then a single came in from Raphael. So it's now 58-2. We'll see if Twitch answers back today with their own big member bombs. We'll see. Those games don't sell for crap on Xbox, says Eugene. Look at the Final Fantasy releases. It's a Western RPG. It's not really anything. It's not in a particular category, Tonkatsu. It's a whole lot more similar to JRPGs that I've seen than Western RPGs. I just called it an RPG. I didn't feel like it was either. It certainly is JRPG adjacent. It's not like a Western RPG at all. The music, the soundtrack, how they tell the story, how they set up the environments and the characters and the combat, it very much feels influenced more by JRPGs than Western. For better or worse, Game Pass is why I'm playing this game, says Nova. I'm not a turn-based person and probably would never have paid for it. Yeah, that's a good reason for Game Pass to have picked it up, because a lot of people would have just been like, oh, it's turn-based, no thank you, and now they're getting to try it out. I would encourage y'all, if you got to play it on Game Pass, and if you had a good time with it, buy it. This is a studio that you should do that for. I firmly believe that. This isn't some big conglomerate, some big publisher, some big established AAA studio. It feels very French. Oh, I mean, obviously it's French developers. You know, Crowquill renews their member. Morning all, hope you're doing well. Thank you so much, Crowquill. Getting us a little bit closer on the goal right now is a 50 member bomb from Mike on the mic. If we can hit 700 members on the week, and Mash has already done his duty of dropping a 50 bomb. He's going to need some help. He's going to need some help if you guys want to do that. I'm going to match, by the way. Both myself and Mike on the mic will do 50 bombs today. That prologue is kind of rough, surprisingly a lot more depressing and sad than I thought it would be. I think that's part of their storytelling effort, is they wanted it to be beautifully tragic, also a little macabre and dark, and a little disturbing. But then there's they want that thread of hope kind of shot through about, we're going to go and try and fix this and fight this. I love it. I love it from a storytelling mechanic. The best stories have, you open with a tragedy, and then you have the struggle, and then you have the resolution. And I think the way they establish tragedy is beautifully done. Like, I think the best stories do start with the tragedy of, Mufasa dying, right? Or in this case, this weird paintress thing that is basically killing people slowly and surely based on their age. Are we sure it will even get indie nominations, though? Wasn't Lies of P technically a debut indie game? The high production value might actually make it feel less like a nominee to those submitting their picks. It should be based on the studio size, in my opinion, not like... So what, you don't get nominated if you do a really good job? The studios choose if they want their game on Game Pass, as does Microsoft in offering the deal, says Mash. They aren't forced into putting it on Game Pass. It doing well and being good is great for them and Microsoft. I would argue, Mash, that these guys probably knew, and I wouldn't be surprised if part of the pitch from Xbox is, listen, you're in a genre that doesn't typically do well on our platform. This is probably a better deal for you. And Xbox did a good job in picking a good target, so that they're now attached to one of the highest rated games this year. So like, they get to say, hey, that's attached to Game Pass, right? Like, they probably said what I said. They looked at it and thought, this thing's going to make a splash. Let's get this on Game Pass. It wouldn't sell well on the platform anyway. And then they benefit by getting a fat check, and they know it probably wouldn't have sold that well on Xbox. It's not even the size if they're independent from a major publisher. But is Kepler considered a major publisher? I know what it should be based on. I'm just posting, if Lies of P was eligible but wasn't nominated, that might be a predictive indicator. Wait, but was Lies of P not nominated for that reason, or were there other reasons it didn't get nominated? Why am I getting pre-roll ads when I'm subbed? You shouldn't be. Pre-rolls are disabled right now for the next 14 minutes. And yeah, as a sub, you should never see an ad, Jenny. Let me go to my settings. Hang on. That should not be happening. Where do I check that? Ads manual, pre-roll, subscriptions. Ad-free viewing is checked. You should not be seeing ads, and pre-roll is currently disabled. I'm not that must have been a glitch. Maybe it had an ad loaded for you from another stream that you came from, and it just showed it to you. So if that ever happens, just refresh. It should go away. I worked out that Mael must be 15 in the game. A bit weird. Yeah, she's really young. Hopefully they don't do anything, I don't know. Hopefully they don't do anything like weird with that as a character being that young. Some of the games that get into like the anime style, I don't like that. It makes sense though, not knowing how good your game will turn out. No one can tell until it happens. Oh yeah, I mean they probably thought they had a winner, but you just never know what consumer response is going to be. Most companies and game developers know around where their game will land with the general audience. That's why you have internal testers. Screenshotted their published games in Discord. All right, hang on one second. I wouldn't call them major. Okay, so they've published Sifu, Scorn, Chia, Ultros, Pacific Drive, Cat Quest 3, Flintlock, Bionic Bay, Expedition 33, and Rematch. I would not call Kepler a major publisher. Yeah, I would consider those to all be, a lot of those to be like little indie studios. I think she's 22. They mentioned before. You have the Expedition. She has 9 years. Oh, well, as long as she's an adult, she doesn't look like an adult. That's always a little awkward, again, when art styles do that, but it's great. Okay. Yeah. No. No, I'm fine, Mama. No, I'm fine. Stop it. No, she's 15 or 16 because the countdown is going as she ages. Oh, right. So if they... Yeah. So, no, she is a teenager. I was going to say, she doesn't look like an adult. 24 minus 9 is 15. Right, so it's 9... Yeah, it's 9 years to 24. She's going to meet it in the middle. She's 15. No, that makes sense. Yeah. I was going to say, she does not look like an adult. That's always awkward when the Japanese art style games or cartoons do that. I'm always like, he's an adult. Yeah, okay, whatever you say, bro. Whatever you say. Ooh. Crazy that 30 people made Expedition 33. It is crazy. It is. It is indeed crazy. I wonder how long it took them, and I don't know. I'm not embarrassed to say I was up till 2 a.m. playing. Easy game of the year for me, says Soldier. Haven't played a game like that in a while. Doesn't she say something like, congratulations, you beat a teenager? Yeah, she does. She says that in the beginning. So they make it clear she's a kid. They're not doing that weird... I'm just going to call it creepy. It's creepy. Like, they're not doing that weird creepy vibe where, like, it's an adult, but they have, like, the face of, like, a child. Like, that I think that's creepy. It's an art style. No, it's creepy. Stop it. Like, no. Like, stop it. They could have made her 18 and avoided it. Well, but does the story do anything weird with her, or is she just there fighting with you? Isn't that supposed to create some of the gravity? Right? Isn't that supposed to be how it works? Like, some of the gravity is that she's so young and yet she's there fighting with you. What is that wrench next to your name, Glenn? Is that just a plain old is that just an emoji, or are you like an admin or something on YouTube? Expedition 33 should definitely be eligible for indie categories, though. Kepler is outside the mainline traditional publishing system. Okay, it's just a wrench. Yeah. Like, in my combined chat, it makes it seem like you're like an admin or a mod or something. I'm like, I don't know why that wrench is there. He calls her his second sister. Yeah, he treats her like a sister. He says at one point he's her guardian. I don't think they're going to do anything weird. He speaks about her as he's her guardian. They're not going to do anything like with that. That would be absolutely... That would have been criticized by the reviews if they did anything like that. 100%. They would have been like, this is completely out of line. Like, that would not have done well in the review circuit if they do anything creepy with that. That would be completely inappropriate. Assuming her parents got erased? Maybe, yeah. Glad they established that. Yeah, I think it's perfectly well and good to have stories where there is guardian or parental-like relationships. I think that's very touching. And Raphael gifts a member. He's trying to shake the tree a little bit over here on YouTube. It's a lighter turnout than normal. We're trying a little bit of a different format. We're trying to be a little bit more flexible with the YouTube channel, not so rigid about, like, we have to have a talk show, we have to have multiple topics. And that moves the contest over here to 60, but now it's going to be 61 because Frank just renewed his member plus and said, good morning, Lono in chat. You look taller today. I'm in a new chair. If you guys use the chair command on either platform, you can check out Ada and a Chair. And a Chair launched their brand new X Air. This is their first high back ergonomic mesh chair. I don't like the racers, but they sell racers if you want to get a racer from them. XCal, thanks for 35 months over here on Twitch using their Prime. Says 35 months. Thank you very much. And that is Twitch. You guys are once again, man. Twitch is just letting YouTube have the day in the contest down here in the corner. Only 3 subs on Twitch to YouTube 61. And Chris with 43 months says, move it again. Yeah, YouTube's been really, really flexing on that Twitch channel. I honestly thought Twitch was going to make things more interesting, but YouTube is showing that they're staying true. Happy 50th birthday. It's not my 50th birthday. We're going to do 50 member bombs on YouTube. Myself and another guy are going to do 50 bombs if we can hit 700 members before the end of today. Isn't part of the story lore that people have kids young? This whole thing? I don't know if they've established that. No. Yo, C Squared resubscribes with Prime in 28 months. This minute, move it again for the double dip. There it is. If you guys have Prime, you can come over and show that support on Twitch by using your Prime on me. That is very, very, very welcomed. Thank you. We will be playing the Days Gone remaster today. That's what's going to follow this segment. Yes. So make sure you guys are smashing like on YouTube. We're really close to 200 likes. Mash says, hypothetically, if you're a mech in a game and you have a relationship with a mech made in the same factory, is that inappropriate? I mean, I would say just going into the back end of the lore and being like, oh, but they're mechs, it doesn't matter. I would have a pretty serious problem with that. Like, if you used AI to make that a scene or a depiction or, and they're robots, I still would have a pretty serious problem with that. I would say that's inappropriate. I would say that's wrong. We got a hype train incoming. I don't know how. Oh, 100 bits from RP Gaming over here on Twitch. This is your chance, Twitch. This is your chance. You got a hype train. You got 2 minutes to push the hype train. Make a run on the YouTube number today. Let's see if you can do it. They've been beating you guys up all week, man. Disagree with that? You disagree? Like, if they're robots, it's fine? 50 years old, congrats, you're older than I am. I'm not 50! I'm not 50. I am 43. AI summary. Lono and Cheddar are arguing about mech. Ugh, no, we're not. It doesn't. Hopefully, it doesn't say that. Using robots to depict something that we consider to be abhorrent doesn't remove it being abhorrent, right? I don't know. I think there is an instinctive part of us. Like, if you made a robot dog, like a puppy, and then a robot person, would you be okay with the robot person just abusing and beating the tar out of the puppy? I think you'd be like, whoa, this is offensive. Like, it should offend something in you and disturb something in you, even though just because they're robots. I would be very much not okay with that. Someone gifted me on here. What's good, Fathom Rocker? I don't see a badge next to your name, though, Fathom Rocker. Are you sure? See the new Doom PlayStation trailer? It has PS5 Pro footage. They've released PS5 Pro footage of Doom? Off top. Oh, yeah, I'm reading in both chats. Sorry. Fictional artistic depictions of horrible acts are still horrible. Yeah, I don't think your, like, loophole get out of jail free card is saying, but they're robots. Yes, they did about an hour ago. Is it on? I'm assuming it's on the PlayStation channel, right? Let's see here. And then Alex with a $10 super chat says, congrats, Lono, looking great for 50 years young. I forgot to set the super chat goal over here. I will gift a member. There we go. Thank you so much, Alex. All right, so the hype train has started. Fathom Rocker moved it by subscribing over here on Twitch. Thank you so much. I will let me make sure this is running at the highest possible. This should look really good on the AV1 1440 on YouTube. I'll add you to the total, Fathom Rocker. Oh, we unlocked an emote, it says. I can't get you the emote, I don't think, until the hype train's over. Oh, are they talking? Here, I'll give you guys the audio, sorry.
Combat, story, and exploration. I'm guessing you tuned in because you want to hear something new, something about the game no one else has heard about. Well, I've got a good one for you.
Yo, Alex gives a sub over here on Twitch.
Fantastic worlds to explore throughout the story. One of them is totally unique for a
Keep it going on Twitch, y'all. Make a fight today.
Doom game. A space we've never been to, but a world I've wanted to incorporate into the Doom universe for a while. The Cosmic Realm. You will bear witness to the cyclopean architecture of this Lovecraftian dimension as you explore its darkest secrets and battle its most insane enemies. An unholy union between Hell and the Cosmic Realm has been formed. Why, you ask? Well, you're going to need to watch the story to find out. No spoilers here today. But this partnership has given birth to some new type of adversaries for the Slayer to fight. Enemies like the Cosmic Baron, twin-bladed brute. He attacks with relentless pressure and at range.
Yo, 5 gifted subs on Twitch. Twitch is making a run for it, y'all. That's 7 from Twitch. I got to add to the total. Thank you so much, Tebow.
Releases a flurry of psionic attacks that can block your projectiles and rip through your precious health. But fear not, because embedded in his attacks are parry windows that a skilled Doomslayer should be able to exploit should he or she be brave enough to stand and fight. All the strongest foes in Dark Ages require this kind of aggression. You weave your way through the maze of projectiles just like in classic Doom to then go toe-to-toe with the biggest demons we've ever created.
It looks so dadgum good.
And after you've dispatched with the Cosmic Baron...
I mean, you said it. You said it. The parry mechanic has me so excited. I love that parry is showing up in so many games now. It's like somebody said, that Lono guy loves parry. Let's just throw it in every game. The Hype Train Level 3 is going on Twitch. Keep it going, boys. You guys want to beat YouTube. This is the way.
Be careful, because rising above the dark horizon, you'll find the powerful Cacodemon, a hybrid between the two dimensions and newly designed for this game. This floating mass of telepathic terror will stun players with his advanced shield attacks and cripple you with his tentacle strikes should you allow him to get close. But you can counter these enemies' assaults with a new weapon, born from the mollusk swamps of the Carthua marshes, an ancient tool from dimensions beyond our own, the Reaver Shot. A brutal ballistic iron mace of death. Fire it quickly to unleash a light attack to a single foe. Hold down the trigger to charge the Chaos Sphere and unleash brutal long-range melee strikes, turning your enemy's insides into demonic pulp. This weapon is unlike anything we've ever had in an id game. It brings the fantastic melee combat featured in Doom the Dark Ages to a whole new, brutal level of bone-breaking destruction. The sound, the design, the visuals, this weapon is amazing.
I freaking love it. It looks so good.
There are so many more secrets to reveal and legends to forge here in this new world we've crafted for you. I think you'll find your time here to be full of intrigue and bloody, bone-crunching mayhem. And it will all look amazing on your PlayStation 5, featuring cutting-edge, ludicrous mode graphics powered by the all-new id Tech 8. The innovations in this latest version of id Tech allows us to have more content visible on screen than ever before. Bigger spaces with longer views, more enemies to fight, more destruction, better feedback, a better gaming experience. We have fully dynamic lighting powered through ray tracing, which has allowed us to iterate faster during development, empowering our team to make better art faster. id Tech 8 is a purpose-built engine made specifically for Doom the Dark Ages, with performance that's buttery smooth at 60 frames per second. This game will play as good as it looks.
And there's so much more, to be honest, that we still have yet to share, but we just wanted to give the Sony fans something special as we head into launch. We cannot wait to share this experience with you. It is the biggest and most complete epic game we have ever made at id. It plays fantastic on the PlayStation 5 and, of course, the PlayStation 5 Pro. There will be so many things to see, abilities to unlock, and demons to crush in Doom the Dark Ages when it releases on May 15th. So from all of us at id, thank you so much for your time and continued support. See you soon.
We're just in so much trouble. So I got to add, hang on, you guys did 7. I believe you did 7. Let me make sure over here on Twitch. Hang on, we did a gift from Alex, and then 5, and then a gift from Fathom, right? Yeah, so 7. So Twitch, you guys are now at hang on, I gotta switch the order here. You guys are now at 10 over here. I gifted 1 as a thank you and appreciation. Should have unlocked an emote for you. Hopefully no Marauders, am I right? Yeah, hopefully. It doesn't look like it's going to be, even if they have something that shows up like Marauders, I don't think it will matter. The rhythm of Eternal was so good. My frustration with the Marauders is they made that rhythm kind of trip on itself. That was what frustrated me with the Marauders. It wasn't that you couldn't have like a challenging enemy. I love the Marauder boss fight. But, yeah. Sony fans? Why are you guys surprised that he said Sony fans? Hype train complete. All right. You guys didn't keep it going, but you did get, anybody who participated gets this emote. There you go. Another banger on Game Pass. There's no question it's going to be the best year for Game Pass that we've probably ever seen. I mean, Expedition 33 just got done hitting, and then in like 3 weeks you're getting Doom. So I didn't see anything indicating pro footage. I think at the very beginning, didn't it say recorded on the PS5 Pro? I feel like it did. There's at some point in the video, I thought it said it. Yeah, it said it at the bottom, says silent. I'm trying to go to the spot where it said it. Did it say it at the very, very beginning, or it said it? Do you guys have a timestamp? I could pull it up and show it. Wait. Right here. Here we go. Right there. Captured on PS5 Pro at the 1 minute and 29 second mark. He said Sony fans because he knows where games get paid for. I don't think it's like that. I don't think these studios have that feeling or that vibe. They're not like, yeah, what you're paid for. I think id Software knows they have a lot of fans on PlayStation. It's a big platform. You know? Did he not say the ludicrous mode was for the PS5 or the Pro? No. I think he was just saying that that's something that they did. I don't think he was saying they just did that because he said PS5. He did? No. He did not say that. No, he said PS5. He did not say Pro, and I don't think he said that mode is like reserved for the PS5. I don't think that's what he said. Ask, where does he say ludicrous? Can I find the word ludicrous? Where does he say PS5? I might have misspelled ludicrous. Yeah, at 421. Hang on. We'll just listen.
Featuring cutting-edge, ludicrous mode graphics powered by the all-new id Tech 8. And it will all look amazing on your PlayStation 5. Featuring cutting-edge, ludicrous mode graphics powered by the all-new id Tech 8. The innovations...
Yeah, that's just fluff language. That's just fluff language. He also said PS5. He's just using fluff language. He's not saying that, like, only PS5 is getting this or anything like that. He's not saying, like, it's a mode. So he's also crediting the engine with that. It's the id engine. It's not something that's specific to the PS5. He also didn't say Pro. He just said PS5. Yeah. The phrasing seems to indicate that's a PS5 mode. I don't think so. No, I don't agree with that. It sounds to me like he's simply saying that you're going to love this on your PS5. We did all this great stuff with our engine. That's all he's saying, is as far as I can tell. He's just saying, it's going to look great on your PS5. We did all this stuff with our engine. That's how I interpret his statement. So, yeah. Let's do this. And guys, make sure if you're on YouTube, you're smashing the like button. YouTube crushing it once again. Twitch, make sure you guys are following the channel. Let's see here. That. Open that. Okay. All right. Okay, there we go. I'm just getting some things ready for you guys. Got a pretty full day of content for you. Okay. Okay. Give me 1 second. How many of you actually, I had a couple people say this, how many of you guys bought Clair Obscur Expedition 33 because of my stream yesterday? I'm actually curious about that. We had a handful of people say they weren't really sure about it, and then they snagged it because of my stream. Like, how many of you did that yesterday? Just kind of curious. Okay. All right. Yo, Jazster with 34 months and a VIP. Thank you so much. Your stream and the raving reviews. I add to my wish list for sure. I'll play it on Game Pass because of you. Play it on my iPad when I'm away. Nice. The stream made me consider it, said enjoy. It was me. I was keen on it, but the stream made me buy. I'm going to buy it. You help confirm that the game doesn't suck. Not me yet, says Sam. I'm considering it, says JC. You bought it while watching yesterday? Nice. Let me add Jaster to the total here. 506. And the contest here between the two platforms continues. You're better off buying a budget PC and pay for PC Game Pass. You get day one games for cheaper. I don't think a budget PC is good advice at all. I think that's actually bad advice right now because of what games are doing and how they're with optimization and performance issues right now, I think that's very poor advice to give to somebody. I think that's a poor use of your money. I think you'd be better off buying. I would say it'd be better to either save and buy a better PC or a Pro or even a Series X. I don't know. A budget PC, you're going to run into all kind of issues. You know, I mean, if you look at what happened to Doc Dark with his budget PC, he got a PC from Walmart. It was giving him a lot of issues. If you know what you're building. Yeah, but I mean, I guess you've got to define budget PC, because like if you really know what you're doing and over like 7 months, you get a bunch of things at great prices. You know what I mean? That's not to me necessarily a budget PC. Especially if you're trying to get good performance. Yeah, the question would be how much you're spending. Yeah, because when I hear budget PC, I hear like you're trying to keep it below $1,000 or at $1,000. Ugh. I don't know. Right now, 1,000 to 1,200 budget PCs on par with consoles. Not the Pro. You'd have a really like. I know this really upsets the PC boys when I say this, but I don't think so. You're going to have a super hard time building a PC for that much and getting like the performance I'm getting in AC Shadows. The litany of PC games that have come out lately that unless you've got a beastly rig, you encounter all kinds of issues and got to turn everything down. No. For $700, you've got a very, very capable device that is putting out really impressive. $800 PC beats all consoles. That's completely and utterly false. That's not true. That's not true. No. $800 PC does not beat all consoles. No. There's literally no way you can do that. Like, that's... Like, Linus did a $700 PC and had to cheat and buy a bunch of used parts, and even he couldn't keep up with the Pro. I mean, he admitted that he had to cheat to do it. It's just not true. That is not true. The idea that you can skimp and save and spend a small amount of money on a PC to beat consoles is just such a weird thing. I don't know why people are suddenly saying that so often. If you want a good PC to outpace Pro, the Pro especially, you've really got to put in the work. I built it, not lying. I did maybe $899. I'll check latest prices, but it's doable. No. If you build a rig right now and you want to match the performance of AC Shadows with like global illumination turned on, 60 FPS the resolution, and you want to match like Horizon Forbidden West performance on the Pro, you're not spending $800 to $900. There's just no way. There's just no way. The amount of power you need to output that level of fidelity and performance, you're not skimping and getting there. You're not. A 4070 alone is $600 or more. Yeah, you're going to have a very, very difficult time getting there. What GPU are you saying the GPU in the Pro is similar to? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. The frustration about this is that all the PC guys should have basically said, what kind of a rig do we need to build to match Forbidden West or Ratchet and Clank, or now we have AC Shadows? Build a rig that can match that performance. Do it. It's not me. It's not my job to do that. It's their job to do that. I bought the Pro and I'm satisfied with it. I don't think you're going to go to the market of PC peripherals right now and build something that can do that, and you're going to skimp and save. No, you're going to have to buy really good stuff. And you're going to end up, I think, well over $1,000. Well over $1,000. This like, oh, maybe 8, maybe 9. No. You're going to have to get some insane deal on eBay or something for one of the most important parts in order to pull that off. I spent $3,000 for my PC. It's very expensive. A super chat from Alejandro says, Expedition 33 looks so good, and I know I would love the game, but at the moment, I'm honestly pretty satisfied with Oblivion. I mean, you could live in Oblivion for a really, really long time. A $5 super chat from True SSJ. I don't know, Lono. If he gets a 3080 or 6800 for cheap enough, maybe. These GPUs just outstrip the Pro's GPU. Trust. Is there a tech outlet out there that can confirm what True SSJ is saying? A 3080 can outstrip the Pro? Like, I'm not well versed in the parts. I just know that the parts aren't that cheap. And I don't think any of the tech outlets said that. I don't think any of the tech outlets were like, yeah, you can buy this and it'll completely outstrip the Pro. A 3080 beats the Pro? So how much is a 3080 is more powerful than the Pro? Well, how much does it cost? I didn't say it had a 4070. I said it's routinely compared to the 4070 performance-wise. The PS5's Pro's GPU is roughly equivalent to an AMD Radeon RX 7700 NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4060 Ti. Evo says, my old 3080 Ti is struggling with current games. I have a 3080 and it definitely destroys the Pro. So your 3080 rig, you're able to match and mimic the performance that like Digital Foundry showed in Forbidden West and Burning Shores and AC Shadows. You can do that. You can match the resolution, the global illumination, and the frame rate. You're playing at 4K on 3080 with upscaling. You can get a 3080 for $600. 3080 alone is $500 to $700. Well, that's what I was asking. If it can outstrip the Pro and beat the Pro, what's the price? If you're going to spend around $600 just for the GPU, you've already lost. What are you going to do? Surround that thing with cheap crap? The minute you buy everything else, you're not spending $800. You're going to buy the rest of the peripherals for $200? Like, what are you going to bottleneck your entire system and think that the 3080 is going to do all the fighting for you? Even motherboards are expensive. You're still spending $1,000 to $1,200. That's what I'm saying. If you want to go toe-to-toe or outpace the Pro in the performance that we've seen in games like Forbidden West and AC Shadows, you're not doing that for $800. There's no frickin' way. You've got to buy too many parts. My rig definitely surpasses the Pro, but it's not even close to $800. The 3080 when I bought it during inflation was $900. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know the parts and the pieces and what's the strongest and what's a match. That's why I was asking questions. I was like, well, if it can outstrip the Pro, how much does it cost? You don't even need a 3080. The newer 4060 Ti is on par. Motherboards are not that expensive. It all adds up, though. The minute you match the NVMe storage of 2 terabytes and you match the memory and you get yourself a GPU and you get yourself a power supply and you get yourself a CPU and you get yourself a tower, come on. Come on. It's the idea that you can do all that. The 4060 can be found for $400. Can be found. Are you talking about eBay or are you talking about what somebody as a consumer could go and do right now? Like if I go right now and I try and get myself a 4060 Ti without going to eBay, what's it going to cost me? I'm seeing 4060 Ti right now from Best Buy. I'm seeing for $400. So $400. So you buy that for $400, and then you only have to spend another $400 or $500 on everything else. So you can build the rig for under $1,000. You just buy that card for $400, and you buy the rest of the peripherals for just another $400 to $500. The 4060 Ti is one of the worst GPUs your money can buy. Lone Wolf says no, that won't work. PC guys don't want to admit the PS5 Pro is actually a powerful console for $700. The CPU wouldn't be good enough, says Lone Wolf. This whole thing is why I don't agree with encouraging people who don't understand computers to get into budget PC gaming. I agree on the 4060 Ti, but still on par with the RX 7700. That's what you gave for reference. The 4060 benchmarks are trash. It's a 1080p to 1440p at best with diminished settings. Yeah, I don't think the 4060 Ti ain't getting you crap at 1440. Yeah, I think you're selling me a bill of goods here. I don't think you'd buy a 4060 Ti and you'd be getting the performance that I said. I want to see the performance that I get on the Pro in Burning Shores, in Ratchet and Clank, and in AC Shadows right now on my Pro. I turn on global illumination, I get rock solid 60, incredible resolution, and you're going to get that on a 4060 Ti. From what I'm hearing from chat, I don't buy it for a minute. A super chat from True SSJ says, I see people underestimating the 3080 and the 6800. They still play very well despite being 5 years old. I'm referring to markets like eBay. PS5 Pro is probably the strongest gaming console. It's not probably the strongest gaming console in the market. It is the strongest gaming console in the market. There's not a console stronger than it right now. I don't think there'll be a stronger console than the Pro until the PlayStation 6. Because I don't think Xbox is doing power fight in a year or two. I think they're going to go hybrid handheld or PC adjacent. I don't think they're going to try and do a power fight with the Pro. That's not their goal. You have to get the 4070 to match the performance, says Eugene. If you're ready to game at 1080, then yes, you can get pretty far with cheap hardware. If you're trying to do 4K, even with upscaling, it's going to cost. Is Zubair having an aneurysm yet over on YouTube? Not yet. He can't see Twitch chat. You can get bundles for cheap. People swear up and down the Series X is comparable to the Pro. People swear up and down the Earth is flat. So what? 4060 to a 4070 is an absolute massive leap in quality, says Hadigan. I don't know. Dauntless, there are a lot of people that are telling you the 4060 isn't going to get you there. Right now, when I play AC Shadows or I play Burning Shores, it looks like high-end PC gaming. It looks incredible. And what these people are saying is that 4060 isn't going to get you there. It's going to be running at lower resolutions out of the box. You're not going to be able to get the resolutions. If you want to do the upscaling that I'm getting, you want to do the global illumination and the consistent frame rate that I'm getting in AC Shadows, these folks are saying the 4060 is not getting you there. I didn't say 4060. I said 4060 Ti. It's not the same. We could also go back to the 3070, which benchmarks better. He said 4060 Ti. What's the difference between the Ti and the non-Ti? I got a 6800 XT for $400 as well a few years ago. We're talking about right now, you walk into the market and you want to build a rig to match or surpass the Pro. My contention was you're not doing that for $800 or $900. You're going to have to touch $1,000 or more easy, and you're going to have to be very choosy with what you purchase. It's not an easy task. It was being portrayed as if like, oh yeah, easy. I could match or surpass the Pro for $800 or $900. I don't think so. If that's true, somebody would have done it. I've not seen anybody put out the video of a rig, a budget rig, matching performance of the Pro in games like Forbidden West. I'm not seeing anybody do it. See what Faffer said? Should we take Digital Foundry's opinion or this random guy in chat? Let's take a poll. You're arguing about a GPU when you can't even get close with the rest of the components. Yes, you're going to spend more than $1,000. Next topic. Yeah, I just, This debate, we've had this debate so many times, and the guys that screamed and mauled it and yelled, and I ended up in a bunch of videos, I'm sure, none of them had the stones to do it. I didn't say cheaper, I said 800 to 900. Yeah, and for 800 to 900, somebody would have done it. Linus tried to do it. Linus Tech Tips tried to match the Pro for 700, and he couldn't do it. He had to buy used parts. He had to cut corners. He got like deals that the average consumer is never going to get. And even then, he could not match the Pro in performance. And Dauntless, yeah, for the same price. I don't think you're suddenly getting there for an extra $200. You're saying for 900, right? I don't think an extra $200 gets you there. There's no way. That's not enough money. Another $200 is suddenly the game changer? 4060 Ti 8 gig is about 20% faster than the 4060. I would posit that 120% of trash is still trash, says Zubair. For the last 3 years, the PC After Race has been trying to prove that the PS5 and the Pro can be beaten with the PC at comparable price, but it has yet to be done without using used parts, and they still fell short. Another super chat from True SSJ, and he says, I'm not taking anything from the Pro. I just got another 6800 XT for around 400 a couple of months ago on eBay. I'm just using that as the basis. I think the PC guys always lose the forest for the trees here. And you're like, well, I bought a GPU and I'm now getting that performance. And it's like, yes, but you bought a single component, right? And I'm not even speaking directly to you, True SSJ. Like, yeah, you got a single component added to an existing rig. Sure. We're talking about from scratch. Like, $900 isn't going to be enough. Somebody would have done it. Build a rig right now that can match Burning Shores, AC Shadows, and Ratchet. And I don't think you're spending $900. I think you're touching $1,000 easy. Researching Pro comparable hardware right now. I'll put a list together. I may be wrong, but I'll give it a shot. I'm telling you, give it a shot. I again think somebody would have done it. Linus tried his damnedest to do it, and he still fell short. And I don't think an extra $200 is the game changer. What I wish Linus would have done is would have said, okay, now that we've done that, let's build the rig that can give one-to-one performance. I want one-to-one performance. I want you to turn on all the ray tracing that's on. I want the resolution set to the same. I want you to do everything you can to mimic Forbidden West, AC Shadows, Ratchet, mimic the performance. What do you got to spend? I don't mean like on a stat sheet, raw power. I mean, build the rig and run the benchmarks. What do you have to spend to get there? That's the video I want to see. I came into chat to say I can build custom water cool rigs as a side hustle, and with the market right now, you can't do this for under $1,000 at all. Several months ago, but not now. I appreciate that, theorist. That's what I'm saying. It's just... I'm talking about, I want you to run the benchmarks. I want to see it actually tested. Like, raw power doesn't communicate nearly as much because, you got a closed ecosystem on the Pro, and games can be really well optimized for the closed ecosystem. So you're going to need a little extra oomph on PC land to really match that performance. You're going to need a little bit of an edge. So you can't just like one-to-one match raw power of the Pro and be like, I did it. I did it for 972. No. You got to run the benchmarks and actually see, are you getting the same performance and the same fidelity and the same settings and all that? I've not seen anybody do it. Point me to a video. Who made the rig that said, this is the rig, pound for pound, benchmark tests run, this thing matches the Pro's performance in Forbidden West, Ratchet, and now we've got AC Shadows as a really great test case. I want to see somebody do it. Like, build it, do it, and run the benchmarks. Because, like, sure, you could build your rig on paper in PC Part Picker and be like, I match the power. Okay, buy the rig and do the benchmarks then. Nobody did it. Nobody did it. They're too scared. They won't put their money where their mouth is. Expense it as part of your business, as part of your YouTube channel, and expense it, build the rig, run the benchmark side by side. Let's see it. What are you getting? I guarantee you the people that like pound for pound power matched, I guarantee you they wouldn't get the same performance. They wouldn't. That's not the way that it works. Closed ecosystem's always going to have an advantage in that regard every time, especially from first-party PlayStation studios. I think we just have to be fair about how we talk about it on both ends. I think both sides take the hyperbole too far. Who's being hyperbolic about the Pro? Where is anybody being hyperbolic? I get impressive resolution, global illumination, and a rock-solid 60 FPS in Assassin's Creed Shadows on a $700 console. Match that on your PC. Those are facts, not hyperbole. Match that on your PC. Do it. Build it and benchmark it. Do it. Why won't somebody make this video? How long has it been? It's April. And none of those guys who screamed and yelled about the price, not a single one of those guys made a video about this. Not a one of them. Not a one of them. It should have been so brain dead easy to do. It's so easy to do. It's stupidly easy to do if you're a PC expert. This should be like breathing to you. This should be so pedestrian to put together a rig that can benchmark match the Pro. It shouldn't be that dadgum hard. Even if you need $200 more to match the power, still the value proposition of PC is much better because it does much more stuff than game console. No, but that value is subjective. What if I don't need any of that extra stuff? That's like saying you can spend this extra $200 and get all these extra features in your truck, but then you're never going to use them. Didn't someone try to do it with all used parts and they didn't even add the PlayStation controller and it still was not as powerful? Yeah, Linus did. He didn't include controller price. And he used used parts, and he admitted in the video, he was very candid. He was like, you can't do it. Can't do it for the same price. And adding another $200 to your budget isn't going to be a game changer. It isn't. He got some insane deals. He wasn't getting like market normative pricing. You know what I'm saying? So even if you take his budget and you add another $200 to it, you're not suddenly coming out with a monster. You're not. It doesn't matter what all it can do. We're measuring gaming performance. You don't judge an elephant's strength using a tree climbing test. Yeah, that's very well stated. We had this argument for months and months and months, and I always said every time, I threw down the gauntlet. Every single one of those guys that wet their underwear over the price of the Pro, I said, I can't wait for you to make a video matching the performance of the Pro for $700. And nobody did it. And they also didn't show, well, this is how much you could spend if you want to run benchmarks and hit the identical performance of games like Ratchet, Forbidden West, and again, now we have AC Shadows. They won't do it because they know they're going to have to talk about getting into probably minimum. They're going to get around $1,200 easy. Without breaking a sweat, they're going to make you spend double. They're not even going to break a sweat, and they're probably going to have to spend double. And what kind of an argument is that? Are you getting double the value? Are you getting double the performance? No. Well, then what was all that bluster and all that bloviating and all that complaining and all that bedwetting over a $250 price increase for the Pro? $450 for digital, PS5, a Pro is $700. It's a $250 price jump, and look at the performance thresholds. And then you got to go to PC and you're going to spend close to double that to match its performance? Y'all sound silly. You PC boys that were seething and malding about the price of the Pro, y'all sound silly. Y'all sound ignorant. I might not know the prices and the power thresholds of the individual, pieces and parts, but I know an ignoramus when I see one. And all the people that did that, they're all ignorant. Bunch of Neanderthals making fake content basically because they gotta satiate their PlayStation hating PC body pillow sleeping losers that are like, oh, the PC is so much better. Yeah, it can be better, but be honest about how you got to make it better. That's all. That's all you got to do. Just be honest. It's not hard to be like, yeah, you got to spend more money. So the frick what? You want to know why they don't want to say that? Do you want to know why? Because it grates against their whole us versus them. We don't want companies to make profit. They want to make fun of people spending money on games or spending money on the Switch 2 or spending money on the Pro. It's really hard to make fun of people doing that when your version of the hobby has you spending a whole lot more money. It goes against your entire ideology. It goes against your entire persona about PC gaming being so much better. Like, it goes against everything they say. It's like, just say it with your chest. You feel like you get more value over there, so you're willing to spend more money. But you won't say that because it would make you a hypocrite about the people that are willing to spend more on a Pro or spend more to get a remake or a remaster because it looks better, runs better, is better. They feel like they're getting more value. You can't say that about your hobby, because if you said that about your hobby, it would undercut all your other diatribes and your Bible that you read from with your content about how stupid all these people over here with the way they spend their money. It would completely undercut all of that. So they want to pretend and create this mirage as if you can budget PC game and you can outdo or match console gaming. And yet they'll never prove it. Not a single video is out there proving it. They'll just bluster about it, scream and yell about it, because that apparently is how you win the argument. You don't win the argument with facts. You win the argument with screaming about it. And telling people to buy a $1,400 PC at Best Buy that's not as strong or as powerful or has less storage. It's because people these days are not capable of arguing something while even giving an inch anywhere. They do the same with politics. They buy in fully. Right, you got to fully integrate with the side, for sure, MASH. It was very easily done up until this generation. Right, this gen has changed the dialogue. Thank you, Angel, for 29 months on YouTube. I appreciate it. You can't say that your PS5 Pro is only $700 when you have to pay to access online and the games market is more expensive. Let me ask you something. The vast majority of games that get made fun of for being movie games and being all the same, what kind of games are those? They're single-player games. You don't need online to play those. That presumption about having to pay for online is another propagandistic PC master race talking point that they trot out there to try to claim that, when you buy the Pro, you got to pay this annually, and I don't have to pay this annually. You don't have to pay it. You don't. Plenty of people buy their Pros and never pay for that because they like to play single-player games. The vast majority of the games that you play on Steam are single-player games. You don't even need internet to play a lot of them. You need internet to download them. Only 50% of console players pay for online. Right. Look at the number of the people that are subscribed and look at the number of consoles in the market. The fact is the PS5 Pro is not equal to a 4070. This has been tested now and proven even by Digital Foundry. In fact, PS5 Pro is not running all the ray tracing. Never said that it was. Still a mix of medium to high settings with many ray tracing features enabled. In fact, you can outperform it with the 3080 versus the Pro. Lesser hardware for the base. It's 5-year-old hardware. In fact, DLSS still provides significantly better image quality than PSSR. In fact, you're not building a PC from scratch at 700 and outpacing the Pro. Right, to get all those things you're talking about, Omar, that's always the linchpin. They just won't say the last part. It's like, if you want to get all those things, you want to turn on all those pretty things, and you want to outpace and outclass this thing, you're going to have to spend some money. You're going to have to spend some money. You're easily going to touch You're easily going to touch $1,000 to $1,200 without breaking a sweat. That's where you're going to land. Especially if you consider the fact that the Pro comes with a controller. Controllers are expensive. You're starting from scratch. You're comparing pound for pound. What do you got to spend? You're easily getting into that pricing threshold. And that's not scandalous to say. It isn't. It's not scandalous. It's not misleading. It's not any kind of like tribalism. It's just like, these are the facts. Just go and price it all out, and that's where you're going to land. And if that's what you want to spend, that's fine. Why can't you just be honest about it? That's the real question. The real hamdinger, the real zinger to put at him is like, why are you dishonest about it? What do you have to gain by misleading people? Why? Why can't you just admit that, like, yeah, this is where I prefer, this is what I got to spend, and I'm willing to spend it because I feel like I get more value out of a PC? Why can't you just be honest about it? It isn't difficult. Two terabyte SSD, controller with a warranty, Wi-Fi 7 support with the warranty, right? Like, J2 Cents provided similar performance to the PS5 with a 3060 Ti in his video. This is just being ignored. Right, but what kind of a rig did he run? Again, I want to see the benchmarks, though. I want to see benchmarks of, like, Forbidden West, Ratchet, AC Shadows. Turn on the same features and run the benchmarks, and then tell me how much the rig costs to make if you're buying all the parts right now. There's 120 million active PlayStation accounts, only 45 million PlayStation Plus subscribers. Little more than one third of the console market are paying for Plus. 2/3 don't pay for online. How many of those 50% are non-subscription holders who are even active gamers or game purchasers? They'll likely be less invested and less buying and playing. I'm not sure what you're saying, Solemn. They hit a record number of 129 MAUs. That means they're a monthly active user, meaning they're active, they're playing something, they're buying something, they're doing something to register as an MAU. Gonna have to add Death Stranding 2 to that list. Well, once Death Stranding 2 hits PC, it's gonna be, I think it'll be a PlayStation 5 exclusive for probably 6 to 12 months. How many pros have sold? I'm not sure the exact number of pros that have sold. Just from a few vids I've watched, the PS5 Pro versus an $800 PC, Fortnite and Black Ops 6, the PC beats it in every category. That's not, nope. Those are not going to highly optimized games like Fortnite. They got Fortnite to hit 60 FPS on an old gen console, like in Black Ops 6. No, I'm talking about go to the games where the Pro is truly shining. The Pro is not shining in Fortnite. Like, that's not that they're not going in there and turning on stuff like that. Yeah, you can't use like highly optimized like esports titles, like titles where people are playing PvP and stuff. Go to the games that I'm talking about. Like, I didn't buy a PS5 Pro to play Fortnite and Black Ops 6. I bought it because of the first-party studio titles and then the enhancements. So you go to a title like AC Shadows that got enhancements on the Pro. It's running global illumination. It's running an upscaled resolution, and it's hitting 60 FPS pretty much all the time. I want you to mimic that on a PC and tell me what you got to spend to get there. Like, it's always suspect how they do the testing. They won't test Forbidden West. They won't test Ratchet and Clank. And now, yeah, they won't test AC Shadows. They'll run a test in Fortnite. Oh, wow, your $800 PC can run Fortnite better than the Pro. Whoopee. Oh, no. Be still my beating heart. That's so impressive. Those games are optimized for the Pro and not optimized for PC, so why count those as not games that are optimized across the board? What do you mean Fortnite's not optimized for PC? Fortnite's got to be one of the most optimized games out there. They got Fortnite to run on like cell phones, the Switch, and old gen consoles. What are you talking about? Now you could claim Black Ops 6 as a victory because Black Ops 6 is new and they did do some pretty cool stuff for the Pro. So I'd have to know which version they tested because they made improvements on the Pro that came later. The initial patches for the Pro in Black Ops 6 weren't as impressive as the ones that came later. Those games are CPU limited, and any modern CPU is way stronger than the one built into the PlayStation or the Pro. Right, like that's why I've always said the real test, what really shows off the Pro, are games like Ratchet, Forbidden West, and now AC Shadows. Like, run benchmarks in those. They called AC Shadow's performance on the Pro in their video about it, Digital Foundry. They called it a generational leap. A $700 console in the middle of the gen, and they're calling it a generational leap. Do a benchmark test on that. Let me see. Let me see it run that well on your PC and what you have to spend to get there. I don't understand what's so hard about making that video. That's what gets lost in this discussion every time. You're like, well, I can go to PC Part Picker and I can wait for deals and I did this and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's like the experts haven't done it. The bloviators and the screamers and the yellers and the bedwetters, not a single one of them made the video. And I told you that they wouldn't. I told you. I was like, there's nobody's going to make this video. It'd be great content. It'd be amazing. It would destroy an entire idea. It would destroy an entire narrative. It would. It would. We wanted to match pound for pound the performance of games like Ratchet, Forbidden West, and now AC Shadows. And this is what we had to spend to do it. That's informing the public about what it would take if you see that performance and you think that's impressive. What would I have to spend to mimic that on a PC? And they won't do it. You want to finagle things and cheese things and use Fortnite. Oh, wow. No, use the games that actually show off the Pro and the Pro enhancements that have actually been built, updated, patched in a way that really shows off what the value of the product is. Not some ancient plays on everything battle royale. Toasty Bros is a PC YouTube channel for competitive gaming PC for single-player titles with ray tracing, PS5 Pro. Do it? I'm not going to do it. That's not my job. Also, there's no impetus on me to do it. I'm not the dishonest liar that went out here in the public and told a bunch of people that you could match and outdo the Pro for 700. Those people are liars. They're the ones that lied. The impetus is on them to prove their claim. I never went out and made that claim. Not you, them. Right, like that. The impetus is on them. They're the ones that made all the claims, and not a single one of them had the stones to back it up with actual evidence. Like, zero respect. The Toasty Bros are in Louisville, Kentucky. Are they really? That's where I am. Hang on. Toasty Bros put together a pretty good comparison for less than 900, but prices have gone up. Eugene says he bought used parts and a smaller SSD. Stop. Please effing stop. Yeah, that's what I mean. If you have to buy used and you buy a smaller SSD, then you didn't do it. You didn't do a comparison. That's not a comparison. Then I can buy a used Pro. If you can buy used parts, then I can buy a used Pro. The Days Gone stream, it can wait. We're having fun. Like, you can't buy used. That's ridiculous. Imagine going into somebody's house and being like, you spent $1,000 for that TV? You're an idiot. I can get the same performance for less money. How? I bought it off of eBay. I bought it used. I'd be like, get the frick out of my house, you moron. Like, you're not proving anything. I can do it for about the same. How? Well, I bought used. Huh? I'm not buying anything used or building. If you want a comparison, it'd better be all new. That's what I'm saying. Like, that would be the video to make, Mash. That would be the video to make. If you do it used, this is what you're going to get. If you go pound for pound, power for power, part for part, it's going to cost this much. If you go pre-built, it's going to cost this much. That's the video to make. I don't see that video anywhere. Who cares about Wi-Fi? What do you mean who cares about Wi-Fi? We're matching the parts, Dauntless. What do you mean who cares about Wi-Fi? What if you're in a situation where you have to use the Wi-Fi? Maybe you take it to somebody's house. Maybe something happens to your cable, your Ethernet cable or something. Maybe your cat bites it and you're like, well, I got to use Wi-Fi for now. It's literally part of the console. If you're going to match pound for pound, then match pound for pound. Like, that's the whole point. Like, if you had something in your PC and I was like, oh, I can match that. Well, no, respectfully, you asked me to make a list that performs the games the same. Well, okay, but you're being pedantic. You know what I mean. If you want to match that thing, then match it. Then match it. Match the Pro. Like, again, I don't want to just see power on paper. I want to see benchmark tests. Because you could match the power almost identically to the Pro, and I would bet dollars to donuts you're not going to get identical performance. You're just not. If you want to benchmark on something like Forbidden West or Ratchet, even AC Shadows. I think this is the argument. We've all conceded virtually unanimously. Everybody's conceded you can't do it for 700. My follow-up question then is, what do you have to spend to match the performance? I'm not talking about the power, because power to power can be very misleading. I want you to build the rig and I want you to run the tests. That's what these outlets do, and yet no one has done it. Probably 1,000 or so. Solemn, that's what I've continued to say. My rough estimation, based on the pieces and parts that people put into my chat, I'm like, you're easily going to touch $1,000 or more. I think by the time you buy a controller, by the time you buy a keyboard and a mouse, because again, we're doing a pound for pound comparison. If you're going to buy from scratch, I think you easily land at almost double, close to double, not exactly double. You're going to land 1,200, taxes and everything, like pieces and parts, you know, by the time you put it all together and it's at your house, I think you're landing very, very close. Somewhere in the $1,000 to $1,200 range. Easy. And that's if you're very, very intentional. That's not just like dumb consumer going to PC Part Picker. That's like a very knowledgeable person being very particular about what they pick and when they buy. You probably would have to watch for sales and stuff. Probably would. No, you don't include the monitor, because we don't include the monitor or the television price for the Pro. You don't include monitor. I think keyboard, mouse, or a controller are fair to include, because I get a controller with my console. Hang on. Dan with a member plus. Guys, we have a standing incentive on YouTube. If we hit 700 members by the end of today, Mike on the mic is dropping a 50 bomb. I'm dropping a 50 bomb. You guys are going to have to scramble because you're going to run out of time. We're going to go to gameplay soon, and then we lose a lot of people when we do that. Twitch, we're also having a bit of a contest that you guys have lost multiple days in a row. I said I could be wrong. You guys are tough. I said I would try. I mean, Dauntless, to be fair, you did say that, but it was after saying that you said you could do it for 800 or 900. You said you could do it easy. I think you said easy. I think as time went on, you said, I could be wrong. I'm going to have to try. My pushback here is this, Dauntless. If somebody could do it, I think there'd be a video somewhere. My frustration with the PC boys and all that coverage is nobody made the right video. The right video would have been, if you want to have something that is just able to kick out this level of performance, because Burning Shores looks magnificent, Ratchet and Clank looked really good. If you want this level of performance, here's what you'd have to spend. That's the video I wanted to see. Because it's like, is it 1,100? Is it 1,200? Is it 970? I don't know. Like, what is it? Now, obviously, a video like that is going to change with time, because they could have made the video last year, and it's like, we did it for 1,100, and then you'd try to do it now, and it might be a little bit more. But it would have given us something. It would have given us something. Like, at least some barometer of like and again, the reason I don't think anybody wanted to do it is because a lot of them bloviated and screamed and yelled about the price of the Pro, and it's really hard to do that if you come back months later and you're like, this thing is the equivalent of a $1,200 PC. Well, nobody wants to say that. Nobody wants to say that. You fail to acknowledge that the first-party Sony titles are best optimized for their hardware. I don't have to acknowledge that. Why do I have to acknowledge that? They're getting ported to PC and they're being highly praised for their optimization and their performance on PC. I don't have to acknowledge that. That has no bearing on the discussion. Oh, just do AC Shadows then. I don't care. Yeah, I don't care. Do AC Shadows. Do it. I want you to match the resolution, turn global illumination on, match the frame rate consistency, run the benchmarks to where that you're matching what you have to spend to get there. I don't understand why this is such a hard thing. Like, I ask this, I posture this question, and I'll be cast as an idiot console pony dummy who doesn't know PC parts or blah 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 blah. Yeah, that's what they'll do because I'm asking a question. I'm asking a very simple question. What would it cost to benchmark and run the tests and get similar performance output that I'm getting in a game like AC Shadows? Third party game. Where are you at? What do you got? Super chat from Super Googly, and he makes it rain confetti. 33 or GTA 6 for game of the year. I think Expedition 33 made it really, really hard on a lot of other games. I really, really do. I'm here to tell you, man. They took a spot. Expedition 33 100% took a spot. They did. No doubt in my mind. They have secured one of the spots. I've been saying there's going to be so many games this year that should be up there that Keeley might have to increase the nomination list from 6 to 8. There's going to be so many games. Some great games are going to miss out on the Game of the Year nod, for sure. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2's got a chance. Split Fiction's got a chance. Monhun Wilds has got a chance. Blueprints has got a chance. And then the big boys haven't even really stepped onto the landscape yet. Your Doom the Dark Ages, your GTA 6s, your Yotes, your Mafia the Old Countries. Like, Kazan is going to be in a couple of categories. Probably not Game of the Year, though. Yeah, 500,000 sales already for Expedition 33. I'm really going to encourage you guys, if you guys tried out that game on Game Pass and you liked it, man, I would buy it. I would really, really do that. I would give them that bump in their sales numbers. You're hooked, you couldn't put it down. If it would have been back in my old school streaming days, I'd have just kept going. I'd have just kept playing. But, like, we have to use the afternoons to plan. Sadly, most of them won't buy it. I know, and I'm not saying they have to or they ought to. I'm just encouraging people to consider it, you know. What game are you talking about? Just joined Expedition 33. Which, yeah. Duty deserves it 100%. Yeah. Agreed. Check previous message, please. You need to bring Toasty Bros on the channel. That vid would blow up. Oh, like bring them to the studio? While you're at it, also buy Black Myth Wukong. Fun game. What do you mean? I mean, a lot of us did buy it. It runs like crap on console. They still haven't patched out the issues. I would encourage people to not buy Black Myth Wukong because of what they did. Because of what they did with FSR and with what they did with FrameGen. I'm sorry. I would encourage people to not buy Black Myth Wukong. You're being hyperbolic? No, I'm not. The way they use FrameGen is it. Digital Foundry called it an abuse of the technology. It could be better. It is quite literally the worst performance mode I have ever played. It is the worst. It is terrible. That's not my opinion. That is a fact. On the PlayStation 5 right now, this gen, Black Myth Wukong's performance mode is horrible. It's horrible. Using frame gen to double the frames, like, I don't have better words to use. You need to relax. I don't need to relax, Lobo. I'm calling a spade a spade. Using frame gen to double the frames? It's horrible. That's stupid. They should have never done that. Cash me outside? I will. I'll cash you outside and I'll give you a hug and I'll tell you you're wrong. Like, what are we talking about? Even worse than FF16? Yes, it's worse than FF16. At least in FF16, when I get into a fight, I'm actually getting 60 frames per second. Not a 30 FPS imposter. Black Myth Wukong's is an imposter. It's a 30 FPS game, and they double the frames with frame gen. Can you see the link? Hang on. Prices are up for sure. This list includes parts deemed comparable by IGN. I don't care what IGN says. I would rather listen to Digital Foundry, but you put together a PC for $923. Power supply, case, vid card, solid state, memory, motherboard, processor. Yeah, I mean, 923, you're really, really close, Dauntless, to what I said. Yeah, if you add in the DualSense, you're at $1,000. You're right at what I said. You're always going to be right about $1,000. Like, I don't know. For the non-PC guy that I am, I somehow got that almost on the nose, Dauntless. I mean, you just went and did your darndest to get it, and you're missed by 100 to 200. Yeah, but again, I mean, we'd have to have somebody more knowledgeable look at your list of parts here. An AMD Ryzen 7 3700X. I don't know anything about the motherboard. You've got 16 gig of DDR4. Is that equal to the memory in the Pro? 16 gig of DDR4. You did the right hard drive, a 2 terabyte NVMe. And then a Radeon RX 7700 12 gig video card. If you add the DualSense, it's $1,000. The PS5 has DDR6. Can you put the link in Discord? It's not letting me highlight it. There we go. It was like trying to highlight his whole message. That's from Dauntless. I put the list in the Discord. Not even close, says Tebow. PS5 Pro memory is... I don't know. The PS5 Pro has 20 gig of total RAM, consisting of 16 gig of DDR6... of GDDR6 and 2 gig of DDR5. The extra 2 gig of DDR5 is dedicated to handling console tasks directly related to gaming, not directly related to gaming, according to reports. So 16 gig of GDDR6. And so you went with the equal memory, but you went with the DDR4. My content above stating it was GDDR. You have to understand the hardware on both sides to be in the discussion. DDR6 on the GPU side, GDDR6. That's graphics VRAM. The G and the GDDR6, very different from CPU DDR4. Oh. I just went to Google, and that's what Google said. Well, AI's got it probably wrong. Hang on. PlayStation has a blog about it. Do they just list the memory here in the blog somewhere? They did like a teardown. On the PS5 Pro, we added a 9th DDR5 memory, which is dedicated to slower processing, while the remaining 8 GDDR6 memories handle all the high-speed rendering for gameplay. The 9th DDR5 was added. They have a whole teardown where they talk about that. Vice King says that's a dead end in terms of upgradability. Paul says, why would you get the 7700 when the 9070 is 550 and has FSR4 support and destroys the console? A member plus from Denver with 3 months. Did not have Expedition 33 on my radar, but I do now. Well, I'm glad, and I hope you enjoyed if you get it and play it. Let me add you to the total here. 509. If you guys can get this to 600, I bet you could land that plane and bring it home. Mile High using the coffee command. Thank you very much. I forgot to put it in frame today. Yeah, if you guys are coffee drinkers, this is another great way to support us. We used to work with the company, but now we have our own. So Reforge Roast comes from us. My wife and kiddos bag it up and ship it to you. It's basically like supporting a small business. We have a light roast, a medium roast, and a dark roast. Our bundles are on sale right now. Go to reforgeroast.com. You guys on Twitch as well can do that. You're lost in the water stage. You don't know where to go. That was one of the criticisms from some of the things that we read. From some of the things that we read, there were people that said a map would have been really, really helpful. Yo, B-Nipple with 36 months on Twitch. That is 3 years. And that adds to the total. Twitch is not making it interesting the last couple of days. You guys aren't even really putting up much of a fight. We'll see if anybody... Twitch needs their own big dogs. You guys need your own Mashes and your Pathlon Phoenixes. JC says, I don't understand any of this. Omar says, consoles use APUs which combine the CPU and the GPU on the SoC. So you have 2 sets of RAM to discuss there. Zubair says, I'm just going to let you handle this so we stop typing and duplicate. Great to see you back. Thank you. It's great to be back on Twitch. What's the actual minimum ping they can do, assuming very, very powerful software? I'm not sure. This discussion's so silly. PC will always be a superior product than console, yet it will cost more. That last part's always the most important part. It's like, yeah, it's superior. You can get a superior experience in performance. You just have to be willing to spend the money. Oh, you guys were typing the same thing in the chat. Oh, you guys kept answering questions and you're both saying the same thing. Got it. Receive my dark roast and appreciate the written thank you note from your children. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad, Disciple. Thank you. Yes, my Lambo is more expensive than your Corvette. You out here driving a Lambo, Lord Horg? Are you flexing on us right now? Do you think the Marathon Alpha coverage is low? I think their choice to make it viewable to the public was a bit of a Hail Mary. They didn't get the reaction that they wanted to see. I think it made them understandably nervous because games like this kind of live and die on first impressions. And yeah, I mean, it's the middle of the day on a Friday and the directory on Twitch has 4,000 viewers. It's the highest viewed stream right now has 500 viewers. We have more viewers than the second stream, and I'm streaming a variety gaming show where we're well off the rails of the main topic. Yeah. The game was brought down for maintenance. Oh, that's why the viewership went down. Okay, the game was brought down for maintenance. Okay, well, that's not necessarily a huge indication. It doesn't change my opinion. They basically threw a Hail Mary, and I don't think they caught the ball. Their Hail Mary was, if we let people see the alpha, it will change public opinion. I don't think that has happened. I think public opinion has largely stayed the same. The people that are into it and are excited, I don't think that's a big enough group. I think the general public is what they were trying to change that opinion. Are you playing Days Gone today before? Yeah, we need to actually switch gears to that. We're really late on that stream. That was supposed to happen like 30 minutes ago. Before we do that, I'm going to have to take a break. I'm not going to be able to just go straight to it. I have this crazy belief that different people are different and are probably more qualified than me to decide how to live their lives. That's right. Consoles are eating good this generation, says Omar. PC has had to deal with increased prices with smaller gap in differences. All fair. My only pushback is when people start overstating the hardware on the consoles. Yeah, I've always tried to stay away from being hyperbolic. I've always just tried to say, like, this is the performance I'm getting on the Pro. I think it's incredibly impressive for the price. I'm not going to spend that amount of money and get that performance on a PC. So that pretty much settles the issue for me. Like I'm literally sitting on my couch, lazy dad, casual console gamer, and I'm getting performance that I can't get without having to spend quite a bit more to play on a PC. Like that's pretty easy for me. I don't know if anyone's overstated the hardware. Yeah, in this environment, in this community, I don't think we've had anybody in here running like crazy, overstated exaggeration like propaganda for the Pro. I don't think we've had that. I think people have claimed that about me. They're liars. Who cares what they say? Like I've never once tried to mislead people on the Pro or exaggerate or get hyperbolic. Dishonest people always project their own character flaws onto others. It's like you guys are the ones out here that ran the false narrative about the Pro and its price and how you could match it on PC. And none of you did it. None of you had the stones to do it because they're just liars. You know? I don't think that was the goal to get the general public on board with Marathon. If anything, they wanted to avoid what happened with Concord where people had no interest. I think they didn't get the response they wanted when they did their showcase. They panicked and they threw a Hail Mary. And I think they dropped the ball. I don't think you do what they did if they felt like they got the response that they wanted. They didn't get the response that they wanted. They reacted. I think that's a risk. I think that's a huge, huge risk. Most of the Leviathans that were focusing on Marathon are showing up for Dune today. How they dropped the ball. I don't think they could catch it. I don't think it was a catchable ball, Zinthos. I don't think the general public was ever going to change their mind about this game. I just don't think so. I think the Hail Mary was uncatchable. I think they did it in desperation. A huge super chat from Super Googly says, 3 days ago we were worried about Oblivion stealing the show. Now I worry about Bethesda. If they can't pull this one off, it could be GG's for them, especially after the failure start. What are you talking about? Why are you worried about Bethesda, Super Googly? Oblivion did amazingly well. The sales have got to be insane for that game based on the concurrent numbers I saw on Steam. $5 from Jack Garland. They reacted when they should have responded. Hey. Somebody's playing AC Shadows. Okay, we got to switch gears. You guys can still go for this in the next stream, but we got to switch gears to gameplay. You guys on Twitch don't have to do anything, but I am going to need a quick break. So I know that's bad for viewership, but I can't take it. I'm not going to be able to jump into gameplay. Without taking a quick break. If you're interested in the Days Gone remastered on the PlayStation 5 Pro, I'm going to be booting that up in just a second. Play for a couple hours. Why are people calling the Days Gone remaster a cash grab? It's like an upgrade, and then you could also just completely ignore it. I'm getting hit with all of the stupid bots. What made you start streaming? Why did you start streaming? Yeah. Okay, I'll be right back. I can't do an ad break on Twitch just yet, and I'm not going to do one on YouTube. And Lord Horg pokes the line and says, "Come on, boys, let's make Mike on a mic and Lono drop some 50 bombs." Currently, I owe you guys like 10. I'll do it when we get into the gameplay. All right, I'll be right back. Okay. All right, edit stream info. Fresh playthrough. And go to the Days Gone directory. All right, and then I'll give you guys a link in just a second. They pushed out an update for Blueprints. Did they say what it was? It says that mine just downloaded an update for it. All right. Hit the Discord with an announcement. Discord members chat. And are you guys on Twitch? Don't have to do anything. But you guys on YouTube, we'll do the redirect. We will do the redirect thing. Okay. Yo, what's good, Bellows? All right, there's the link to where we're headed. This game has a slow start, but that's okay. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. You just followed me to ask that, so I don't really have an interest in talking to you. All right, here we go. Oh, and let's put the, hang on. We'll put the member count here. As a reminder, the contest is pretty much over. If you guys want the contest pulled up and you guys Twitch, you guys want to make a run and try to beat YouTube, go for it. But I won't pull it up right now because we are trying to get to that 700 for the member bomb from Mike and Mike and myself. Here we go. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I'm going to be diving in brand new with the Days Gone remastered gameplay on the PS5 Pro. So if you are curious what this game looks like on the Pro, I'll be showing that off. I have played this before on my PC, but it was at a time where we were able to do live streams of gameplay on YouTube. I had to kind of stop. So I've been wanting to go back. I'm thrilled they did this. So if you're looking for Days Gone remastered gameplay, this will be that on the PS5 Pro. I'm going to end the previous stream where we were discussing Expedition 33 We were talking about why it's probably headed to the Game of the Year podium. I'm going to end that stream and redirect folks over, and then I'm going to click on New Game. We're just